attendance.
Mr. Speaker, can that be made available now for the members to know whether we have formed a quorum? Whether we have formed a quorum, Mr. Speaker, as enshrined in the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, so that our deliberations are not going to be deliberations based on illegality.
It is noted, Honorable. Please, you can sit down. Sit down, please.
My distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Obi Agocha. I represent the great people of Iguano, whom I had not, whom I had South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, since the President's letter concerns proclamation, Mr. Speaker, the constitutional procedures that must be followed as enshrined in Section 305, subsection 6B, that says for us to consider this President's request that this House must have two-thirds of members present. Mr. Speaker, may I please ask?
We already have our attendance registers, Honorable colleague, and we will rely on that to ensure.
Mr. Speaker, this is a constitutional.
Yes,
can we do a head count, Mr. Speaker?
That
to ascertain that we have a quorum.
Yes.
To ascertain that we have.
Yes, yes. Our attendance register will guide us accordingly, Honorable. Please. Sir? Our attendance registers will guide us accordingly. Members are still signing, and at the end of the day, we'll take attendance.
Mr. Speaker, can that be made available now for the members to know whether we have formed a quorum? Whether we have formed a quorum, Mr. Speaker, as enshrined in the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, so that our deliberations are not going to be deliberations based on illegality.
It is noted, Honorable. Please, you can sit down. Sit down, please. Your point of order is noted. Please sit down.
Our federal constituency, Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the road.
Order, please. Order, please.
Mr. Speaker, I believe.
Let him talk. I will allow you to talk, please. No problem. Let him start talking. When he finishes, I will recognize your own.
Please.
I understand. I will recognize you.
You are talking while you are seated, please.
Finish talking, I will recognize you. I will recognize you after his opening statement. I will recognize you to talk. Okay?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I think once again, this House has been summoned to leave an indelible mark on the pages of Nigeria's political history. And I believe that, as we've always done, carrying the interests of our people and the nation at large at heart, we will all rise to the occasion. There is no doubting the fact that we have our differing definitions of democracy, of transition, state of emergency, and whatever, within and outside the Constitution. But the road to where we are today is known to everyone in this hall. Nobody is a stranger, so I don't need to be reminding you or telling you who did this, who didn't do this. Now, there has been failure in certain sectors, particularly those of us who call ourselves leaders of the Niger Delta. There is no doubt about that, because if we did our work well, if we went to the grassroots and mobilized our traditional religious leaders and critical stakeholders, we may not be where we are here today. It's our primary responsibility. And I was with a former president yesterday night, and I told him that. It's from my region. So I think the request from Mr. President is very clear. A state of emergency has been declared. Certain terms have been enunciated. You have also given us how we're going to mediate some of these terms in order to make them more practicable and to ensure that nobody is hamstrung. But ultimately, Mr. Speaker, we have a duty to move Nigeria forward. And I believe that even if we are given a vehicle that has 3 tires, our job is to add the 4th tire to it so that that vehicle can move and get to its destination. I think I appeal to our colleagues here to know that we stand on the precipice of history, because a time comes, as I always say, in the history of every organization, every home, every nation, every society, when you must pause and reflect. Where were we coming from? How did we get here? What have we done so far? And how do we want to move forward? We want Rivers State to move forward. I have lived in Rivers State. I have worked there. I taught there for many years. And I produced students who have been former governors, current ministers, former ministers. And I'm proud of them all. It's a wonderful state. The flora and fauna, the culture, the people are warm, accommodating, tolerant, inclusive in their thinking. And I believe that the responsibility we have now is how do we recreate the platform for Rivers to move forward. Because when I organized an international conference about 2-3 years ago or so, we did it in Port Harcourt, and I brought in people from 18 countries to Port Harcourt to discuss democracy. I want to appeal to all of us. We have our own biases. I have mine. But on this issue, let us move in step with the President, assist him to have a better proclamation, and let's begin to work from day one to ensure that we create the processes, the conversations, the negotiations that are necessary to bring sustainable, durable, lasting, inclusive peace to Rivers State. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Drake is my name. I represent Sakbama Keremo Federal Constituency. It's Uncle Me, I'm from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I also come under the same order as well as Order 4 of our standing rules. Mr. Speaker, why I'm coming again is simple. You are a man who have given leadership to this house. You have led us well, even in times that there are bills that were very challenging to the nation and to this country. You have shown, and your leadership has made Nigerians to have confidence in this house. Mr. Speaker, the issue we are debating right now in second reading is a constitutional matter, and Constitution has prescribed what and what to do, Mr. Speaker. It is in the integrity and interest of this house, Mr. Speaker, for you to announce the quorum as we are seated, so that Nigerians will know that we are not circumventing the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this is not about either supporting or opposing what Mr. President has said, but because of your impeccable leadership, the kind of leadership you have given to us in this house, and the kind of leadership that Nigerians have come to believe in, Mr. Speaker, it is good enough, and I urge you that we comply strictly with the Constitution by first transparently announcing the quorum as it is now for us to go into this debate. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity.
Your contribution, I want to assure you, we will not do anything that will undermine the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Whatever we are going to do today will be in total compliance. So please be rest assured of that. Honorable Wase.
Mediation representing Wase, Federal Constituency, Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, first I want to appreciate you for the leadership you are giving to this house. And I want to thank you because you have traversed even the areas of difficulty. One of the areas that you were able to navigate the house and the country put us together was the issue of tax bill. You did exceedingly well. And today too, I believe there's nothing to worry. I want to believe those who are raising this constitutional order will have the opportunity when we went into executive session. Some of the things that we discuss are things that I thought is a win-win situation. And I will prefer that the leader of the house, as he stood to have spoken or to have given his own opinion, maybe to roll out some of the areas that will also help. Because as far as I'm concerned, sir, if I'm to speak my mind, I'm one of those that suffered this very, very decisive decision. in Plateau State. But Plateau State got better after the state of emergency. In fact, I was taking review with some of my colleagues yesterday what really happened. I was in government, I was part of the government, I benefited, but after that one, we know the impact of it. For the country, it was good. For the country, as far as I'm concerned, because of the economic sabotage that is going to affect every one of us, nobody can take his eyes away from that. I want to believe that Nigeria must move forward. We are not yet at the point of voting. So the point of vote, what are being raised, until we get to the point of voting, that is when possibly that clause could be asked. But for now, we are supposed to consider what is before us, and what is before us is the request by Mr. President to tackle the issue or to approve for him for rivers. Until we get to that one before we now begin to talk about quorum. I want to beg that we should discuss in the interest of this country, and that's much better. Thank you very much, sir. This is my own simple contribution.
Honorable Chief Dr. Philip Agbese. I represent the good people of Ado, Okpoku, Ogbadibo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Middle Belt, Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, it has been established by all Nigerians and the international community that indeed there's a problem in Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, it has also been established before this Parliament through the letter that you just read that a state of emergency was declared by Mr. President, and that is already in force in Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, this Parliament, when we came on board, was Christian the People's House. And one of our major achievements in this House has always been to provide solutions to problems as far as the country is concerned. We are all aware of the doughty challenges that face us today, the state of our democracy, and we are here as a people, as representative of Nigerians, to provide solutions and to ensure that our democracy works for the people of our country. Mr. Speaker, it is in that vein that I want to make a recommendation to what Mr. President has sent to us. Yes, it would have been good for every one of us to behave the way we wanted to do. But because of our collective interest and the way we have buried our personal sentiment to work for Nigerians, we have said we'll work in line with the Constitution and to work with the tools that are available to us building a greater Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, it is in that respect that I want to say that the recommendations made in the proclamation by Mr. President, that in the wisdom of this House, that we play with it in a way and manner that it will help to build our democracy and make Nigeria a better place. And my recommendation is that we have seen in time past when this country was at the point of precipice, where national committees were set up. And we have also seen in time past, even when there are no constitutional provision, the doctrine of necessity was invoked, to give life back to the country. And it is in that vein that this state of emergency has been declared in Rivers State, not because Mr. President hates any of the groups involved, but because Mr. President wants something better, for our country. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to recommend that a national committee be set up to comprise of the executive, members of the parliament, and eminent Nigerians, like we have seen in the past where during the election we had General Salam Abubakar and His Eminence Bishop Hassan Kuka coming together to ensure that there is peace across the country. That we make, as part of the recommendation to support the letter by Mr. President, that a committee of eminent Nigerians be set up to mediate, to ensure that there is peace in Rivers State. So that within the period of the emergency rule in Rivers State, the Parliament, working with the executive and other eminent Nigerians, will ensure that we all work together to make sure that the things that led to the emergency rule in Rivers State does not resurface after a period of time. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for the privilege.
Committee, anyone who is in support of this? Yes, Honorable Ibrahim.
I remain Honorable Kabir Ibrahim Tukura, and I represent the people of Zuru, Fakai, Dankosago, and Sakawa Federal Constituency of Kebbi State. This morning I rise to second the motion as moved by my brother, Honorable Philip Agbese. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
additional insertion into the request of Mr. President should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it.
Amendment.
It's an amendment now, but we need to get support of people to say they are in support of the amendment. Thank you. So those who say this have the the ayes have it.
Further amendment.
Now,
Further amendment.
Now it's my pleasure to call on Honorable Etabone to speak on also an area he wants to amend concerning the request of Mr. President. Is he around, please?
And my dear colleagues, my name is Ben Etanabene. I represent Okbe Sapele Uye Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this my constituency is situated in the most peaceful and politically stable and growing economically state in Nigeria, the big hard state called Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that given this opportunity, I need to state that Delta State, for a very long time, has not experienced all this Atlantic virus that is affecting some of the states in recent time, close to the Atlantic Ocean. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you. The topic before us is the proclamation of emergency government in Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, I listened attentively to the message of Mr. President, and I cannot but agree that the bottom line is for peace to come to Rivers State. Whichever way it comes, legitimately, the ultimate goal is to have peace in Rivers State. And this position was even given credence to the Rivers State governor when he said a time ago that no sacrifice that he cannot make for peace, to come, to Rivers, State. We must embrace that idea of the governor, and indeed, as pushed forward by Mr. President. However, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President has invoked Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I do not want to go into academic debate on what Section 305 is all about, but it's a proclamation, for an emergency rule. However, Mr. Speaker, I have some few amendments, to make. Section 305 cannot be read in isolation of Section 11, subsection 4 of the same Constitution, and that deals with, if you permit me to read, that at any time when any House of Assembly of a state is unable to perform its function, by reason of the situation prevailing in that state, the National Assembly may make such laws for the peace, order, and good government of that state with respect to matters on which a House of Assembly may make laws as may appear to the National Assembly, for on and on. But the bottom line here is I listened to Mr. President's proclamation where he said that the sole administrator will be reporting to the Federal Executive Council. Mr. Speaker, I disagree, with that position and insist that the provision of Section 11.4 of the Constitution should take precedence over that. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
HD, and arise this solemn day to second the motion that Section 11, subsection 4 of the Constitution should be taken into effect. I so second that motion as ably moved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This is an additional area of request that Honorable Benedict is requesting the House to add on the request earlier presented by Mr. President. So those who are in support of this additional insertion into the request should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. We have another honorable colleagues who has shown interest to also contribute in the amendment of this request from Mr. President. It's my honor and privilege to call on the Minority Whip of the House, Honorable Ali Jesse, to give his, to move his amendment.
Respected Honorable colleagues, I remain Ali Sajesi, PhD, representing Balanga Billi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, I believe with strong commitment the matter in Rivers can be resolved within the shortest period of time. I believe that matter can also be resolved maybe next week or upper week, which I believe the President showed commitment, and all the leadership too has shown commitment. We don't need to wait for a longer period of time. Within the shortest period of time, the matter can be resolved. So I believe the President should be given opportunity to amend, retain the positions of declaration, but with review of the state of emergency at any given time. That the House direct the declarations of the state of emergency stated for the stated period, but the President can terminate, review the state of emergency at any time within the period, but not later than 6 months. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
So if is that, hold on, honorable colleagues, you are saying that the President doesn't need to wait until the expiration of the 6 months before he can lift this suspension, right? That if by tomorrow Rivers State will wake up and everything is okay, he has the right to say, okay, the state of emergency should come to an end. So rather than just tying us to 6 months, you are saying at any given time, between the first day after the passage of this particular request, the President is at liberty to lift this suspension. Is that what you are saying? Okay, please can we get somebody to second? Honorable Miriam.
Ms. Right Honorable Miriam Odinaka Onoha. I represent Isi Alamba no Onimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. This morning I rise to second this motion as moved by my brother Ali Jesse, that this House do support the proclamation in view that it could be reviewed shorter than the 6-month period when the two parties come to table, whether it's tomorrow or even earlier than that. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those against you say nay. That is have it. Any more contributions? Any more contributions? So we put the question. Are we ready for the question? Are we ready? Those in support of this request of Mr. President as amended should say aye. Aye. Those in support of this request from Mr. President as amended should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Thank you very much. Clerk.
Professor Julius Ihanfere, OM DSSRS, Distinguished Service Star of Rivers State, so you know the DSSRS. I also move that we suspend our rules to enable us adopt the voice and proceedings from today's plenary. I so move.
Please be seated, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the House Leader. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Order, please. Leader of the House, can you move for the House?
Honorable colleagues, please be seated.